Yo, yo, yo to the yo, 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 and for you, wee, I made it. Let's make sure that we are live on the YouTube. And tonight, this is kind of making a little place marker for myself because this topic is so extra dicey. It really is. The backfire of social media marketing, social media edutainment, with this case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and his disappearance, his vanishing act, his presumably more people are saying that this is some sort of a family abduction. And we have seen social media play a role, and I want to kind of go through and, in a way, just document my observations yet again of how it's kind of came into its own, moved away from the local news to where it is today, where our number one, if you're looking at success, the number one successful speak pipe that is carrying the voice of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers out to the public, to the mainstream, would be Dog the Bounty Hunter. So imagine we went from local news, child missing. We've all heard the dispatch calls, so we know kind of the angst and the response of the local authorities to where we are now. And that gulf and the risk that one takes to carry the story without a helm, and maybe compare it to the Gabby Petito story where the family really took the helm as a unit. The mother, the father, they were divorced and remarried, and their significant others rallied right straight away with a single message. We do not have that in this case. And I think that has opened enough fracture points for lots of different kinds of wacky. Some people would just say it is so whack, I feel. And out on my YouTube, I speak as freely as I wish about my observations, and I understand it's all a jumbled mess. And believe you me, the people that are making it not sound like a mess, they're very good cons. Because this case is an absolute mess. To try and fixate, on what the mother said, fixate on what the stepfather said. Is there a difference between the first interviews and the most recent interviews? What's been crafted? What's been documented? Like, there's some simple questions that I have, like super simple questions that I have, but we will go now 7 months plus, and no one is asking the questions and getting the answers. It is absolutely so whack. And I've put out on my Twitter, of course, as you know, that this child, this teenager, as every child and every teenager that is in his situation, divorced parents, he has autism, he is in whether you want to call it a special needs or being by my side or whatever program that you've got going on at your school, he was in that program. We've seen video of him. We've heard very little audio of him. And we've seen the behaviors, and then we know a little bit more about that Sunday when he had to have been, and I am sorry if you have an autistic child who is screw the spectrum, okay? His teachers knew what was going on, and his parents knew what was going on, and overstimulation just doesn't even make sense. Okay, if I try it on a Friday night, a Saturday, but the day before you're going to be going to school, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. No activity, no friendships, certainly no physical activities. We've heard about fishing. I haven't seen one picture of him I hope that there's a picture of him fishing. And I'm not talking about going out on a deep sea boat, but, like this, getting this idea that maybe he's a little bit of a Huck Finn and, he's enjoying the outdoors. We know that that isn't true. So, what social media has done in the backfiring is that in order to go back and through again to this, here we go again. I am nowhere to be found on the internet. So what we're going to do, why am I not on YouTube? Okay, you guys, let me go ahead and put myself on mute for just a moment while I try and find myself on YouTube. Yeah, that's crazy, huh? Let me just kind of refresh my iPad. Do some of you go through your iPad just to make sure that everything is good on YouTube? Do you guys do that at all? I do it, and it's just a royal mess. It really is. And there is a little secret weapon that you can do, and that's where you go ahead and grab the link. Okay, so there we are. Maybe if I'd gone home, and we'll take a listen to the audio. Yeah, we're good. You guys can hear everything. You can hear it all. You can hear my clickety clack and all sorts of things. Let me put a welcome in the chat so we can grease the chat up just a little bit. And just a quick welcome. And like I said, this is not going to be anything that's organized whatsoever about coming onto YouTube. It's really just to start having some chapters, verse, etc. of what I consider is the backfire of social media in this case, and how in the hell did it happen? Who created this to happen? There's a conversation today going on about the garbage truck video, and from that came all sorts of scenarios where the father has not been allowed to see any of the video. That's one thing. Number two is that he was thrown out of the command center. I heard that earlier on. And maybe he has not been welcomed back. And then one of the last things that I saw was him commenting about almost like a conspiracy theory about the politics in the county. So we start adding up all these things. It's just not about, one location. Did he really make it back home? Well, maybe we can, figure out the steps of the last time he was seen on camera to going back home, and miles distance. Who would have been in between? Who took the niece home? Who else was there at BJ's, even though we see the picture of the Costco? Why are these people not coming forward en masse? So social media has played this amazing role in getting the word out, which is something that the father wanted to have happen. I want the whole world to know the name of my son. He's not anybody else's, he's mine. And that, of course, was not met with the mother and the stepfather at all. In fact, they're very much more reserved. But now you have the stage. Now you have an amazing reward, and it has been doubled. So this $100,000 reward for for any information that takes or leads this family to be reunited with their child. You have Dog the Bounty Hunter. You have hundreds of YouTube, let's call them personalities for lack, ranging from Kofendorfer, McDougal, Peter, I always want to say Peter Hyatt. I believe his last name is Hyatt, but I'm going to say Peter Hyatt, but I know another Peter Hyatt. So, people that have been in and out of law enforcement, body language experts. Now we have all the geo guys, the guys that do drone footage and thermal imagery, and then they all have some sort of social outreach. Divers, dive teams, people in, people out, just traipsing around the house, being closed up, locked up, and warning shots, to stay out, stay away. That was the big thing yesterday. And this is all coming through the lens of social media with no controls. Then the people come in that want to have some control. Imagine trying to put this genie back in the bottle. And it's ended up being big threats, big threats. And what do we see today? There were hours where there was not one piece of content on YouTube. Not one word about this missing teenager. And when we do hear from certain people, they're on their own sort of mission control, having nothing to do with gaining more clues, even if they're just social media clues. So the whole thing, and I'll wrap it up in just a moment, and we'll return to this as I kind of get my thoughts and maybe do 3 or 4 instances of how does the backfire of social media really affect any kind of case. And it looks as though this is leaning towards criminality. And, can social media, our little darlings who could just as well be selling brownies and minding their own life are now at the top of the heap. They're the ones that have the inside track. And even today, they're like, I don't know. Because you can't really trust the inside track. And that's one of the problems. They're very unlikable. Untrustworthy, and it's right down the middle too, by the way. Being an outsider, I can tell you that there were many missteps in this, and that's hard for people to come back around and figure out that they're going to be on a team. You're going to be on a team when there should only be one focus, one laser focus. And certainly one team should not be threatening another team. And that's what makes it just wholly a mess. So thank you very much for listening. This has been Beauty Bubble here on YouTube Live, covering Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and the backfire of social media. I'll talk to everyone soon. Bye-bye now.